if you've never owned a business before, if you've never managed a team before, hired and fired, uh, then stepping into resale could be way beyond your capacity. Most franchise industry professionals, other franchise brokers and consultants, they simply don't know how resales work. They've never had any experience with them. They don't know how the process works, how to go about vetting them, how to assist people through that process. And generally speaking, it takes more effort and work on the franchise broker consultant's part to help a client or a franchise buyer buy a franchise resale. Let's dive into it. I'm going to share my screen, and if you can, I would say take some notes, and let's jump in. So the four strategies. So the first one, and I've talked about this before, which is strategy number one, which is buying a profitable resale. A couple of the strategies we're going to talk about, I really haven't ever talked about them, and I don't know anyone that does. But the first is to buy a profitable franchise resale, right? And this is how you can replace your income virtually overnight if you're buying a franchise resale that obviously is making enough profit that can produce the income you want. What happens is that the reason why you won't hear any other franchise brokers, consultants, or anyone really talking about this, you may be wondering why. It's a few different reasons. So, number one, most franchise industry professionals, other franchise brokers and consultants, they simply don't know how resales work. They've never had any experience with them. They don't know how the process works, how to go about vetting them, how to assist people through that process. And generally speaking, it takes more effort and work on the franchise broker consultant's part to help a client or a franchise buyer buy a franchise resale because it's more complex. You have to look at the financials, profit and loss statements. You have to produce an LOI, a letter of intent, a purchase agreement. You want an attorney to review the purchase agreement. The deal can fall through. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people in the industry that help franchise buyers is they're just trying to get them from point A to point B as quickly as possible with the least amount of resistance. And so a new franchise is much easier because there's nothing to look at to potentially go, oh, this business did this and this is a red flag. Or there's not as many nuances and variables where the deal could, let's say, fall apart. And so for me, I want to just give you the information and again provide as much value as possible because a resale might be a better opportunity for you. Now, there are cons to resales and they, the analogy I use is it's like two analogies. It's like it's trying to board a plane, a train that's going like 80 miles per hour already, right? And so, if you've never owned a business before, if you've never managed a team before, hired and fired, uh, then stepping into a resale could be way beyond your capacity. The other analogy to bring this to life is it's like if you just got your driver's license and you were learning how to drive, and instead of like, a Honda Civic or a normal vehicle that's easy to maneuver, it's like you hopped into like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini with 700 horsepower, where if you step on the gas too hard, the thing just can completely go out of control and you can lose control and crash. And so that's what buying a resale is like, assuming that it's one that has a bunch of employees. So as an example, we recently had someone on our team who bought a service-based, a painting franchise that was doing well over $1 million in sales, a few $100,000 net, and has a whole team of employees, contractors, full-time employees, salespeople, etc. Now, for the average person who's never hired and fired or never experienced what it's like running a business, that could be too much to handle and bite off, you know? But in this case, this individual, her fiance owns a franchise, a food franchise, as well as she helps to, manage and run some businesses. So, she had the experience overall, but resales can be a really attractive opportunity. The other part is that sometimes the inventory can be limited. So, there may not be any available resales, in your area at all. If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power, it's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.